Hello, my dear students. Let's start with the second part of the Python basics chapter. I hope all of you have installed the Python in your system. And if you have any problem in the installation or if the Python has been not installed properly in your system, then please let me know so that we can have a separate video on the installation process, or else we can discuss it in the interactive class. So with the installation, a successful installation of the Python, I hope you have executed the few examples that I have discussed in the previous class. And also I assume that you have done your assignments that has been given in the previous video. So the assignments that has been given from the previous video, we are going to discuss it in the interactive class. I may ask any one of you to show your presentation where you need to show me the result. Okay, so coming to the next concept from the Python's chapter, I think I have left the concept from this program where we have discussed how to execute this program in a interactive shell. So if you do not remember what is the interactive shell is, so I just open the new window here. So how to open the idle? So in the search, type the idle. So if the Python has been installed, you will get this window. So this is said to be as an interactive shell here. So some of you asked me doubt regarding in the interactive shell, is it possible to execute the two commands at a time? No. So in the interactive shells, it allows you to execute only the one command at a time. So what is interactive shell is, for example, if you want to display something, so for that you can use a print statement, and then you can type anything that you wish. So just press the enter, you'll be able to display here. So this is what is the interactive shell here is. So the with contrast to this interactive shell, you can also write the multiple lines together and execute it at once, which is said to be as creating the Python script or the file. So I'll show you how you can do it. Before that, we'll just go through the what this program is about. So in this program, we have not written anything else in spite of just printing something on the screen or else reading some input from the user. So as I told you, to print something on the screen, so the function that is used in Python is print, whereas to read something from the screen, the function that is used here is the input. So in Python, you need not have to define any data type for the any of the variable. Please do remember this thing, because in the other programming languages you have the practice of using the data type to tell the what kind of input you want to read from the user. But in Python, you can observe here the my name is the name of the variable which is not defined with any of the data type. So it is not required in the Python. So by default, whatever the value that has been given by the user, first it will consider implicitly it as a string itself. So later on you can go for the conversion whenever it is required. So let's concentrate on how to create a file of it here. So first I'll copy the disk thing. So how to create a file, or how you can go for creation of the Python script. So in this class, I will tell you both the ways, where the traditional method and the shortcut keys as well. But my suggestion to you people is, I want you people to practice the shortcut keys where you can do the execution fastly. So go to the file for creating the new file. Within the file option, you have the first option as a new file. So along with that, the shortcut key that is used for creating the new file is control key plus N. So click on it, so you will be directed to the file. So I'll just paste here. Now I'm pasting it, but I want you people to type it with the individual line. So do not do the same thing as I'm going to do here, because you require the practice in the beginning. So later on you can go even for the same thing how I do it here. So I'll copy the rest of the things. See here in this Python, so make sure that right now I'm not going to tell you what is the indentation, because the indentation is going to play a very important role in the Python. but for time being, you just understand here the lines, all the executable lines in the Python should have the same margin here. So it should not even be allowed to have a single space with the any of the lines. So all the executable lines from the file, apart from the loops and the conditions, should have the same margin here, which is said to be as the indentation here. So even though if it is maintaining the different margins, make sure that you just do the corrections to maintain the same margin for the all the executable lines here. So this margin to be maintained for the executable lines is called as the indentation here. So I hope you are seeing here the some lines has been written with the hash symbol in red color. So these are nothing but the comments that are written over here. So what are the comments? It doesn't require any explanation, right? So the comments are nothing but some additional information that you might want to give for the program that you are writing. So in Python you can write the comments using the hash symbol here. So once I typed all my program, next thing is I want to save this file. To save the file, go to the file section again. So below that you can see you have the save option here. So apart from that, you can always use the shortcut key as a control key plus S. So click on it. So then it will ask you to choose the folder where you want to save the file. So here I want to save it as a demo1.py. So the name of the file can be anything of your choice, but the all the Python files needs to end with the .py extension. Then click on the save button. So the file is saved. So then next you want to see the result. So how to run the program and see the result is, the first option is go to this run option at the top. Click on the run. You can see here the run module is there, but the shortcut key that you can use here is the F5, the key F5. So click on the F5. So you will be able to see the result here. So now we'll see what this program is doing here. Okay. So once you run the program, okay, so once you have run that program, first it is displaying you some messages, a hello world. Next it is asking you some input over here. So if you want, you can see here, just minimize it and try to place it one beside the other. Okay, so it is asking you the some name. Okay, so here you can see it is asking you this what is your name, where you need to enter some name randomly. I'll just enter it as a Ram. So you can see here, print hello world. So next it is displaying the another message as what is your name. Here what is your name. So in next you can see my name is equal to input. That means it is expecting some input to be given by the user, so that's why it is waiting here. So I've given the name as a Ram, then I'll press the enter. So next you can see here, it is good to meet you. So followed to that, you can see the concatenation operator is used here. So the my name by default is a string. You need not to have any the type conversion here. So it is going to display as it is good to meet you, Ram. So followed to that, you have the some length display here. The length of the your name is. So how to identify the length? Length in the sense the total number of the characters of a string, for which you have the built-in function known as a length here. You can see print length of my name. So my name in the sense the value that has been stored in the my name, that is nothing but the input given by the user here. So here for this input I have typed the name as a RAM, that consists of the 3 characters. So you can see the length of my name will identify the number of the characters that is there in the input given by the user here. So you can see the length of your name is 3. So next what it is doing here, see you can see print what is your age. So it is displaying the message as what is your age. The next line of the execution here is my age is equal to input. That means waiting some input to be given by the user. So I'll just give it as the age as a 19 here. So next, once I give the input that has been given will be stored in the variable my age. So next, what it is displaying here as a information is you will be 20 years in a year. That means in the next year you will be of the 20 years. So that means the input given by the user will be added by 1 and that will be displayed here. So how it is done here, you can see you will be plus concatenation operation is there. So here are the two things that has been taken, which is said to be as the type conversion. Do not worry, right now you might be confused with this type conversion, but as on you are go on practicing the programs, you will get to know what are these type conversions here. So as I told you, whatever the input that you are giving, by default it will be a string. So here what I want to do, I want to do the mathematical operation to add the one value to the numeric value here. So that means this string value that has been taken in the my age needs to be converted to the integer. So that's why it is here taken as a int of my age to convert the 19 into the integer here. Then you can add it. So later on, what I want, again I want to concatenate into with the two strings. That's why I need the type conversion with the string here. So once performing the addition operation, I want to convert it back to the string. So that's why here one more type conversion that is taken here is the str of that integer value. So this is said to be as the conversion. So first the string my age is converted to the integer. Then this total value that has been done with the addition one again converted back to the string here. So that is in total displayed as a you will be with the 20 in a year. So this is how you can create a Python script which is said to be as a file where you can execute the n number of lines together there. So the earlier examples what we discussed in the previous video were in the interactive shell, whereas this is said to be as the Python script file. So coming to the next thing is the type conversion itself. So as I told you, do not worry much about these type conversions. You are going to well practiced with it once you start doing the more programs, once you start practicing the more programs here. So here you can see the str of 29. See, for doing the type conversions, three functions are there which are known as the str to convert it into the string, int to convert any value suitable value to the integer, and to converting the suitable value to the float, the function used is the float here. The parameters that you can pass to these functions is the one which can be converted to the string, integer, or the float. To the string you can pass the nu value which can be converted to the string. So that means even integer can also be converted this to the string just by putting a quotation here. So you can see a string of 29. So I want to convert this 29 to the string. You can just type it as a str of 29. The output that you get is with the single quote here, that is the 29. So the next is print I am string of 29. So as I told you, you want to concatenate with these strings, so you can convert it here. So in these two boxes you have the different functions here, so just to tell you how you will be able to convert into the various data types here. So first we'll concentrate here on this box. You can see in the first example here str of 0. So that means you want to convert this 0 into the string. You can do it. So how the output will be displayed? Just by putting a single quote here. So similarly, there is no such restriction for the string built-in function or the string conversion. You can pass the any value of your choice. You can convert back it into the string. So you can see here minus 3.14214. It is also converted as a string. Int of 42. See here you can see the type conversion with the int function here. So integer of 42. So you might ask always already the 42 is an integer, how you want to convert it? But you can, if you observe, you can see here the 42 is included in the single quote. So that is converted back to the integer here. So the next part is integer of minus 99. So even it is in a single quote, it is in a string, you can convert it into the integer. So similarly in the next book also you can see integer of 1.25. 1.25 is a float value that is converted into the integer just by truncating the or rounding of a value here. So int of 1.99, you can see it is not rounding, sorry, it is not rounded of a value, it is just truncating the decimal part, it is just displaying only the integer part here. So float of, which is again a single quote here, 3.14, it is converting it into the float value. And float of 10, if you do not have the any decimal, so it is going to consider by default as a 10.0 as a value here. So let's see the same things with the execution here. So I'll just try to do the same thing. I'll just take str of, I'll take it as a 9, which is an integer value. I'll just press the enter. You can see the output has been displayed in a single quote. That means this 9 integer is converted to the string value. So similarly, I just want to see what happens if I take int of 9 point. So it is truncating the decimal part here. So similarly, I'll take integer of within the single quotation, which is nothing but the value integer, but with a single quote it makes it as a string value here. So if I press the enter, you can see since it is a integer value but enclosed within a single quote which defines it as a string, can be converted to the integer. For example, if I take integer within the single quote, if I take the f, a letter which is actually a string value, so if I try to do this with a type conversion, you will get an error here. So saying that invalid literal for the integer with the base 10, you will not be able to convert the string, the actual string, into the integer here. So coming to the few more examples on the type conversion here. So here you can see what has been done in this first example is the variable spam is taken with the input function, and the user enters the value as a 101. So if you print that spam, as I told you, by default the value whatever may be the entered by the user is a string, even though it is a integer by the assumption from the user side, but as a programmer you should know that the value entered is a string here. So what if you want to do any mathematical operation on this string? So that can be done by doing this type conversion. So let's just directly discuss it with the execution itself. So I'll take the same variable name spam. Spam is equal to, I'll just define it with the input function here. So it is waiting here. So 101. So I'll type it as a 101 and press the enter. And then I'll just print the variable itself just to check out what kind of data type that has been considered for this input here. So you can see the same value 101 has been displayed with a single quote. That means this 101 is considered as a string here. That's why repeatedly from the last video I'm telling you here that please do remember that whatever the input that is given in this Python is by default considered as a string, even though the intention of the user is to enter the 101. Suppose if I do any mathematical operation on this spam, for example, since it is a 101, I want to add the one value to it. So if I do this, definitely you are going to get an error. Why? Because the spam by the Python it is considered as a string. To the string you are using the plus operator with a 1 as an integer. That means you want to add a 1 to a string value, which is not allowed in the Python here. So in this case what can be done here is, so as I discussed, you have to go for doing the type conversion of this 101 to the integer. And how to do it? Use the function name int. To this parameter pass the value, either the value or the variable in which the value has been stored. So the value 101 as a string is stored in the spam. So close it and then use the plus operator. So what does this function is doing here? It is going to convert the value stored in the spam into the integer, and then it is going to add this value 1 here. So let's see what we'll get here. 102. So you can see here the difference between what you will get if you are not going for do the type conversion and directly adding the value here, and what you are going to get here. So here the type conversion is only static while doing this mathematical operation, but still when if you want to access the value from this span, still it is in a string itself. If you want, you can check it out. One row, one enclosed within a single quote here. That means whenever you want to do any mathematical operation on it, every time you have to make sure that it is converted into the proper data type for performing the mathematical operation there. So see, you can see spam is equal to int of spam, and here spam into 10 divided by 5. So once you do the conversion, see here in this function with the variable itself, you have done the type conversion. That means after the type conversion, you are going to store that value into the variable. That means the already stored value will be rewritten to the converted value, that is back into the string. So these are the few examples to tell you what will happen if you do the type conversion, which is not suitable for doing that particular type conversion here. You can see here. So int of 99.99 is a float value here. Though it is enclosed in a single quote, it cannot be converted into the integer. Why? Because it is a string of the float, but it cannot be converted into the integer. And similarly here, int of 12 is there, so which is actually string. Again, you will get an error if you do the type conversion here. And here int of 7.7, of course you can do it, because directly it is a floating value where you can convert to the integer just by truncating the value here. I'll show you here. So int of, I'll show you, I'll take in a single quotation 99.99. If press the enter, you will get an error. Why? Because though it is a floating value, but for the first turn it is a string. Within the string you have the float, and it is not possible for the convert it into the integer. If you consider the same value integer without the single quotation, that is without having it as a string, directly if you take it as a float value, you will be able to convert it into the integer just by truncating the decimal. So I hope you are understanding the difference here. And one more thing, as I told you in the previous example, if you actually want to convert the actual string into the integer, again, which is not possible here, you will get an error again here. Invalid retrieval for the int with the base 10. So coming to the last part here, so the same program what we have done in the previous example, that is reading the username, reading the age name, adding the age by 1, and then displaying the result. So the same thing has been taken here to make a tour of it, to understand how actually it get converted every time. So you can see here, print you will be string of int my age plus 1 in a year. So assume to the same example what we have discussed earlier, my age has been given the input as a 4. So first, and the first execution step, what it does is, so int of my age is a string. You can see here 4 has been enclosed in a single quote, plus 1 in a year. So you can see first which will be executed, integer of this single quote. That means 4 is converted to the integer. You can see 4 is converted to the integer, and then the plus 1 is applied here, 4 plus 1. So that means this will be evaluated, which is a 5. Then the string of 5, to do the concatenation with the next two strings here, this 5 is converted back to the single string by using it with a string type conversion. That means it will be enclosed as a single quote, which will be displayed you as a result as a you will be 5 years in a year. So dear students, this is the end of the first chapter, that is the Python basics. So I hope you have understood the things. It is very simple, and you might be little confused with this type conversion and how you can go for doing the type conversion. So don't be panic. So as and when you practice the more number of the programs, you will become more perfect with, and you can get into the things more comfortably. So the only solution to avoid this confusion is practicing the more programs. So along with the 3 3 programs that has been given in your previous video. I want all of you to practice these 2 programs as well before going through the next interaction class, that is Python programs for the simple letters. You need to write a Python program in order to read the values required for calculating the simple interest, and you need to display the simple interest as a result. And the next thing is Python program for the compound interest. So all the programs needs to be written as a Python file, not in the interactive shell. So all these files you have to save it in a separate folder, and you need to show it to me in the next interactive class. So if whatever the doubts you have, you just note it down. We can have the discussion in the interactive class. So thank you. So this is the end of the first chapter from the first module.